I'm Phil Moran, a partner in the real estate team here at TLT, based in Manchester, and I work primarily in the leisure and retail team, focusing on work with leisure occupiers. Many of the drivers for the changes that we've seen within the leisure sector are just reflective of those that are occurring in wider society, albeit that the pace of those changes has been accelerated by the pandemic. So a good example of that would be the increasing use of technology within leisure, whether it's as part of an experiential offer in an entertainment venue, or the evolution of dark kitchens and dine-at-home concepts. And linked to that also is the concept of sharing experiences across social media platforms. So in the hospitality sector, we've seen a real growth in the overall number of new brands and different concepts that have come to market over the past couple of years. And what we've seen is that those operators that have performed the best are those that have really upped their game in terms of the design and the layout of the units and the overall quality of their operation to really try and stay competitive. And what we've also seen is more diversification in terms of the offers themselves, so a shift away from, in particular, standalone food or beverage uses to those that incorporate another social entertainment purpose, whether it's football or golf, darts or even axe throwing. And the common theme for a lot of the more successful brands that we've seen over the past couple of years is this concept of experience, which has been a real driver in attracting new customers. And again, this links into the design and technology that's been used by a lot of these operators to try and drive customers to the venues. So away from the bigger cities, we've seen that regional town centres and commuter towns have definitely benefited from increased footfall, particularly in midweek, as a result of people working from home. And I think the notion of the community hub has again been crucial in the resurgence of a lot of our regional town centres during the pandemic. And again, here leisure uses have played a really important part in driving a lot of the development that's taken place. So in particular, we've seen the growth of food markets and food halls, which has been a particular theme over the past couple of years. Initially in smaller towns such as Altrincham in Greater Manchester, but now also in bigger cities where the offer has tended to evolve into combined food and entertainment venues, such as Box Park in London or Escape to Freight Island in Manchester. And what we're now seeing is that in the smaller towns, local authorities have used the success of these food halls as a springboard for wider regeneration in the areas as new communities grow up around them. So from the perspective of property owners, we've seen that investors and landlords have needed to try and repurpose the sites that they hold in town and city centres to try and become less dependent on the viability of a single use class, notably retail. And we've seen this play out most obviously in the case of old department stores, where landlords are often left with huge spaces which just aren't feasible to re-let to another single occupier. And the question for landlords and for local authorities is how best to utilise those buildings moving forward so that they act as a driver for wider regeneration. And in many cases, those buildings have been redeveloped to incorporate other uses such as residential and offices, but again, leisure uses such as attraction space, hotels, and obviously bars and restaurants has been very prominent in filling some of the vacant space that we've seen. So the success of our towns and cities has always been underpinned by a strong and diverse leisure sector. We don't think this principle is going to change, albeit that the nature of the sector and clearly the way that people consume leisure services is going to continue to evolve. I think what has been clear over recent years is that policymakers and developers have really recognised the importance of leisure within wider regeneration. And leisure has really been a real driver for much of the recovery that we've seen across our towns and our cities.